กลั่น
ห่วงยาง
เหรอ
ทำไมจะมีห่วงยาง
มันเล่นน้ำนี่หรอ
ไม่ห่วงยาง
หนักมากติดหนักมาก
ห่วงยาง
ห่วงยางอะไร เราจะหลุดไปได้ไหมนี่
also an added bonus. Although I really do wish we got to see more than just 2 alien designs and new outfits. But to give it credit, that is 2 new designs it has against the Christmas episode. Game Over is definitely one of the better stories that we've seen compared to some of the small stakes adventures throughout the show thus far. And even though logically it's all kind of hand-waved, the issues are at least just isolated to upgrade capabilities and not say an entire fundamental aspect of the universe like how time and magic works within the Christmas episode. For those reasons, it's a welcome addition to the season, and it fits perfectly alongside many stories from the previous 2. In the episode Super Alien Hero Buddy Adventures, ignoring the obnoxiousness of that title, the likenesses of some of Ben's aliens have been stolen and changed into super kid-friendly versions of themselves as a part of the kid show. An actor named Abel North, played by John Seigan, plays one of Ben's childhood heroes, Kangaroo Commando, and has his own event at Planetary Studios. As Ben explains, he's been waiting all summer to see him land the Kangaroo Commando show is what he watched when he was younger, apparently inspiring him to want to become a superhero in the first place. It's a bit weird, and I don't really buy that since we've heard Ben talk about super science for 3 seasons.
ฝนตกที่ไหนก็สาดน้ำกัน
This character was never mentioned at all, so the plot point is left feeling like a little bit of an abrupt backstory. You would think that at some point within 3 seasons of Ben being a superhero, you would mention the superhero that inspired him in the first place. It's not necessarily a superhero, but it would make a lot more sense if Ishiyama was the one that inspired Ben. You know, because he's his favorite character of his favorite franchise. But I digress. Unfortunately, instead of running into Kangaroo Commando, he instead runs into a super alien hero buddy named Handy Buddy, which is the rip-off version of Forearms. Ben, naturally, is fed up with the Shrek impersonator and confronts the person who stole his aliens. That person being Tim Dean, played by... Oh my god, that's Josh Keane. Ben is taken away by security and spits one of the greatest facts of the entire franchise.
His name's Heat Blast, and he doesn't rap when he talks. And why is Forearms Scottish? That doesn't even make sense.
Thank you, Ben, and more importantly, Marty Eisenberg, for understanding that very fundamental idea that Ultimate Alien and Omniverse would promptly disregard. Ben wants revenge against Tim Dean and turns in Heat Blast, but Kangaroo Commando is in trouble nearby, almost falling off a burning building. When Ben saves him, it actually turns out that it was a stunt and he was doing it for a crowd as a part of the show. The 2 then fight because of this, and Ben quickly learns in back-to-back episodes the lesson of never meeting your heroes. He mistakes Ben for a person in a fiery buddy costume, supposedly sent by Tim Dean to mock him after he got the Kangaroo Commando show knocked out of the air. There's a lot of hostility between Tim Dean and Abel North, and it's eventually established that Abel North's twin brother, Gabe North, also played by John Seigan, created the Kangaroo Commando franchise in the first place, with his brother stealing all the credit. He then came up with the idea for Super Alien Hero Buddy Adventures, but Tim Dean took that from him too. As revenge, he tried to kill them both, almost dying together in vats of chemicals really brings people together. I mentioned it at the start, but I feel like this episode would have carried a lot more weight if the characters were people that had been introduced and established earlier in the show. There are a couple of notable moments throughout the episode, and the satirical idea of Super Alien Hero Buddy Adventures paves the way for a couple jokes, but other than that, the whole plot of Kangaroo Commando and the sibling rivalry just felt off and not really interesting. Having an episode that focuses on the relationships between characters that we've never met nor do we care about or are invested in works just as well in the Season 2 episode that they were in. So it's really great that they did learn their lesson on that. We're halfway through the season now, and I'd love to say that it gets better from here, but now we're forced to dive into the story that's been building since February.
สุดแล้วครับพบกันใหม่ปีหน้าอ้าวยังไม่สุดนะยังไม่สุดยังเล่นกันอีกนุกต่อโอ้ยคุณยาย
ไม่เด็กยิงเนี่ยยิงเด็กยิงน้ำไหน
โอเคครับน่าจะหมดแล้วพบกันใหม่ปีหน้าครับอำเภอเพลจังหวัดอุดรธานี